Hey everybody, and how are you? Today is about supporting autistic people at Easter. I know I've gone live a little bit earlier than what I broadcasted earlier, but yeah, I thought I'd go live now and see all you wonderful, amazing people. We have quite a lot of information to get through for tonight's stream. So, with that being said, I thought I'd go live a little bit more earlier than what I was originally going to be doing, but hopefully you guys will see why I decided to go live earlier. Hey Lexi, hi RNG Venom, how are you? So to all the people in the chat that I currently got, Ronnie Egg and Typical Gaming, thank you for the super chat earlier. Hey Laurie, happy Easter to you, my friend, how are you? So with that being said, we do have quite a lot of information to get through tonight with regards to the stream. So hopefully you guys can see me and hear me okay. I'm just trying to think the best way to, there we go. That's better, so you can actually see me properly. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we've got quite a lot of information coming out in this broadcast tonight. So I'll get into it. I'll just wait for a few more people to get into the chat. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy the stream. Hi Karen, thanks for coming in, my friend. I did send you the YouTube stream link on Twitter. Hey Lindsay, happy Easter to you. How are you? I hope everyone's doing well today. I know I wasn't forecast to go on until 8, but I just thought I'd go live a little bit earlier. There is quite a lot of information. I've got like 2.5 pages of information, so it's going to be quite a long stream, as it were. But yeah, I've also going to plan to do a little hangout after this. So if you want to stick around to the end, there'll be a little chance to hang out with me. Hey, Colin, how are you? Good evening to you, sir. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. Colin, I don't know why you're not a mod, but you are now. There we go. I just modded you on my channel, Colin. So yeah, I'm glad you're doing well, Lindsay. That's good. That's great to know. And Karen, how are you, Colin? And Laurie, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Like I said, this stream today is about autism and Easter. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer for some more people to come on in so they can hear the information that's being talked about. And it's going to be about how you can support autistic people during the Easter holidays, which obviously right now we're going through the Easter holidays across the US, across the UK. So hopefully you guys will see what it's like for people with autism like myself to cope during a busy holiday period, and what it can be like for potential people who don't deal as well as what I do and aren't able to cope as well as what I am. So, hey, Red Panda, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to my channel and to the stream. I don't think you've been here before. So, yeah, this is just about how you can support people with autism during Easter and help to not overwhelm them, not sensory overstimulate them, give them strategies, tips, tricks to cope better during the summer holidays and during the Easter holidays. So the holidays, as we know, can be quite a stressful situation for a lot of people with autism like myself, who get quite overstimulated, panicky, anxious because of change of routine, especially with the UK, Canada, US, right now due to the current situation that we're all facing, that we can't obviously go out and see people per se and gather and do all the fun stuff that we used to be able to do. Hi, Carla. How are you, my lovely? Good to see you. I appreciate you coming in. And my damn glasses are starting to do my head in already. But yeah, share this out, guys. Hello, Corel. How are you? Please like and share the stream, guys. Let as many people know as possible that I'm broadcasting right now. That would be great. So, love you too, Carla. My Easter was all right. It wasn't the greatest, but you know, it is what it is. Laurie, unfortunately, no, I wouldn't be able to get a service dog because of my housing association. They won't let me have pets. So unfortunately, I'm not allowed to have pets in this building. It's against the tenancy. And I don't really want to ruin my tenancy right now because my tenancy is 6 years secured. I've been living here 6 years. I had to live here 2 years unsecured tenancy. Then after 2 years, once you get a secured tenancy, means that you're permanent resident. then right now I'm a permanent resident, so I don't really want to muck that up. Hey, Gulf Coast, how are you? Happy Easter to you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Like and share the stream, guys. That would help me really, really good if you share the stream out. So I'm going to start by reading a few of the facts out that I've got from the notes I got from 3 websites that I've used. I've used some psychology websites, and also I used a parent blog to get some ideas off. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. So let's get into it. Autistic people through Easter can really struggle with the holiday adaptations and the changes. So I think it's important to adapt and prepare children and adults for the Easter holiday, so it lowers their anxiety and sensory overloads and meltdowns. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about. Sensory overwhelms and sensory meltdowns can be really be overloading for a lot of people on the autism spectrum, especially when you're not used to having change. And right now, obviously, the world is going through change. Everyone is isolated and not seeing each other. So imagine not just that you're going through this change, but for autistic people like myself, it's very overwhelming, because we're having to do one thing that we used to be able to do, and now all of a sudden we're going, oh, we can't do this. We can't go and see our family. We can't go and see our friends. We're having to stay at home. We're having to be lonely. We're having to do less things that we're used to. So therefore our routine has gone from being firm and solid to woohoo, because there's no way of keeping the routine predictable. There's no way of giving them access to the same people that they would go and visit, and giving them the same chances to go and do Easter egg hunts and things, because obviously we're not allowed to really go out apart from in public gardens or outside areas that is local to our locality. So again, that can cause a lot of sensory stimulation, a lot of anxiety and meltdowns. So that's another thing. Hey, Mr. Lynch, how are you? Thank you so much, Colin. Hey, Roughneck, how you doing? Hey, Urbex, Erica, how are you doing? It's good to see you all. Thank you so much for the super chat, Colin. I appreciate you, my friend. So yeah, the next bit that I'm going to talk about, always plan in advance for children or adults on the spectrum when it comes to Easter holidays. This means planning where, if you have to travel, if you have to go away from your home and you're going to stay with somebody, make sure a week or 2 before you're able to go to that person's house, take pictures, take video, show them around so you know where they're going, because a lot of that again will be sensory stimulation, sensory overwhelm, and the fact that they're not knowing where they're going, they're having to adapt to last minute change, and they're having to adapt to being out of their house, out of their routine. So again, make sure you prepare them weeks in advance, and just go and take them to the person's house, ask them beforehand. Obviously, like if you have some parents you're going to, or you have a friend's house you're going to, just say, hey, on the phone to them, do you mind if we come around 2 weeks before Easter? Come around, can I take some pictures? Can I take some video of your house so I can show my autistic child or my autistic adult what it's like to stay here? Because obviously they're going to go from their house, which is their routine and their safety, to a stranger's house, which is going to go, whoa, because they're not used to being out away from their home. So again, it's preparing them, lowering their anxiety, the sensory sensitivity, the meltdowns, the depression, because of the change in routine. So make sure you do something like that to self-help them. Obviously, this can include decorating the place where they're staying. So giving them practice of laying the table, putting the table mats out, decorating the house in general. So if you're going from your house to another person's house and they're decorating it, make sure that you have your autistic loved one involved in that, because again, otherwise they're going to feel lonely. They're going to feel like they're not wanted. They're going to feel worthless. So the more you involve the autistic child or the autistic adult, the more better they're going to feel their own sense of well-being, their own sense of self and their own self-identity. So by just doing these little things to help them, they're going to feel more accepted and wanted. And also it gets their creativity thinking, because a lot of autistic people are very creative individuals. They like to fix things and build things and change things, and they like to be able to use their head and use their fingers and be able to build stuff and put stuff together and tear stuff. And so just do things like that that would involve them in the Easter holiday preparations. Then the next thing that I wrote on here is to make sure that they can do any cooking that you may want to do. So if you plan to do some cooking and you plan to make sure that you've got hot cross buns, or you're just doing a simple lamb dinner, chicken dinner, whatever kind of meat, or if you're a vegetarian, obviously the vegetarian option. But obviously, if you want the people who are going to be eating that dinner around your autistic loved one, make sure they have first dibs on the food. Make sure they're able to taste it before they have it. Make sure they have their favourite vegetables, or if they choose not to have that dinner, make sure you really have something else prepared before time. Because obviously, being in and out of the kitchen area, you're going to be busy from doing the Easter dinner to the Easter egg hunt and all the fun activities like the games. Again, it's preparing your autistic loved one before time, because if they go to that house or they go to that person's house and they go, whoa, what is all this? Then you're going to have the instant anxiety, the isolation, the meltdown symptoms, the anxiety symptoms, because they're not used to going out from their house to someone else's house, and all of a sudden their routine has changed. They're not able to do things that they were back in their own comfort. So yeah, make sure you do that. Also, if you're going to another person's house, make sure that you have another adult with you, or you have someone that knows your child or adult really well, because if there's a situation where they need to come out of the situation where they are in, make sure that they understand what's happening, give them a quiet space, a quiet area where they can go and calm down and self-regulate. Because if you leave them in a stressful situation and they start panicking and panicking and panicking and panicking, you're going to have a level where their anxiety and their depression and their overstimulation to food, smell, touch, taste, noise, it's just going to become too much. It's going to build and build and build and build and build in their head, and all of a sudden it's going to go kaboom. And then all of a sudden you're going to have the autistic child, autistic adult needing to get out ASAP because they've had too much to deal with the noise, also people's voices, people who they don't know. So again, it's the unpredictability of knowing who these people are, the change, the situation that they find themselves in. If you can try and keep the child or adult's routine as solid as possible, so that means taking their favorite music with them, their favorite books, their favorite coloring books, something that they like to do at home at that person's house, then you're going to see a big difference from being anxious and destructive to, oh, at least I have my music, at least I have my computer. Or make sure you have the person's Wi-Fi code before time. Make sure you have the person's laptop before time. If you're going to a house where there's going to be a laptop, make sure you're allowed to have that Wi-Fi code, because a lot of autistic people like to have the internet and they like to be able to research their special interests and such. So hello, God the good one, good evening to you. How are you? Hello, David 2010 as well. I just noticed you're in here. Hello. But yeah, God the good one. Hi guys, how are you doing? But yeah, it's just, I want you guys to understand that when you have an autistic loved one around you, or you potentially meet someone on the spectrum for the first time, there'll be little signs that you'll notice that aren't quite right with them, like the lack of eye contact, the fidgeting, feeling anxious. Like with me, you know, I'm very fidgety. I like to express my hands a lot because I'm very, very anxious about how I do things, what I say, and I only talk my own opinion. This is not from all the autistic community. I speak from my own autistic perspective, because this is what I've seen. This is what I've dealt with for years before getting my diagnosis. So I've learned to adapt to what is and processed it, and got so successful that I can actually appear as normal and function as normal. But I'm not normal because I'm neurodiverse. Hey, Gamer. How you doing, Gamer World? Good to see you, buddy. And thanks, LS Crew, for sharing me out. I appreciate that. She's come up on my screen. So yeah, I just want to come on and kind of talk about different ways that you can help autistic individuals as such. And then the next one that I want to talk about is, do not plan too many activities. So if you have an autistic loved one with you and they're basically getting stressed out, or they're in their unfamiliar environment where they start panicking and they're stressing out and they're starting to have meltdowns and feeling not good, and they come up to you and tell you, oh, time to go, because some of us may be able to tell you what is up with us, and some of us can't. So again, it's, hey, how you doing, Bounty? It's good to see you. yeah, so basically make sure you don't plan too many activities for that one person, because the more activities and sensory stimuli that they're going to have, the worse that their noise and smell and touch and people being around them is going to bug them, because you've got so much stress going on in the background with people and noises and music and smells of food and other children, and you've got all that sensory input coming at them, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, don't knock it, don't knock it, don't knock it, and then it's like kaboom, it explodes to a point where you basically can't function, and it gets to the point where you're unable to socialize properly, you start not communicating fluently. With me, I lose some of my language because I get stressed out to a point where I'm just like, leave me the hell alone, go away, don't talk to me, I'm stressed out, I'm anxious, my temper's going to go boom, 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 and then I'm just going to explode at someone. So it's a case of I get stressed out. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about as well is to always bring, if you're in an environment, thank you, Bounty, for sharing me out. Thank you for the people sharing me out. That's appreciated. If you're going to another person's house, or you're even going out to a public restaurant, which I know right now we're not allowed to because of current circumstances, I'm not going to name what the thing is, but if you go out to a public restaurant for your dinner and you're taking an autistic loved one out with you, and you're going somewhere that's not familiar to them, it's not part of their routine, they're going to get very, very spooked out with it, because by the end of the day, they're not used to going outside to that environment, not used to being in a different restaurant. It might be because the furniture feels funny, it may smell funny in the restaurant, they may lay the table a different way, they might not have their favorite drink. So always bring some form of replacement food with you, because they won't cope too well if they have to go into this environment where people are around them all the time. There's a different smell, there's different food. So always take a bag, their backpack, put in their favorite biscuits, their favorite crisps, their favorite sandwich, something that you know is their stable, rock solid food that they go to, and that they will eat consistently without feeling like they're being awkward or they're holding back because they don't like the food that's at the restaurant, or the food that you may be actually cooking for them. Because a lot of us have taste and sensitivity issues. I'm very sensitive to a lot of high smelling food. So for me, a lot of it I can't eat, because some of the high smelling foods really do make me go, ugh, or make me feel crappy, or I gag at the smell because it's just too much smell, and it just builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up. And then I go, I don't like this. Get it out of the way, because I know some people do struggle with how they process things on the spectrum. So yeah, that's another way. Hey, real DJ Fruit Loops, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. So yeah, that's just another thing I want to. Also, then this next one is crucial, is key. Preparing people. Oh my God, I cannot stress this one enough. When you are preparing your family, and your family do not know about the autism diagnosis, or they know very little about how to support the person, they are very aware, they're not very aware of how to look after that person. So when you have your autistic loved one, or autistic friend, autistic work colleague, autistic member that you know from your local community, and you invite them over to dinner, make sure that you have someone to prepare them, because when you're going through a situation and it's communication based, you have to remember that being on the spectrum, we do struggle with our communication. Hey, Jen's Live, how you doing? Hey, Laurie Valenta, how are you? So yeah, basically always prepare your family when you're taking your autistic loved one out to a friend's house, or you're going out to another family member's house. Make sure that family member is prepared, or that friend is prepared way before time, because again, it's going to be the anxiety, it's going to be change, it's going to be stress. Thank you, Jen's Live, for the donation. Much love, my friend. Thank you very much. Who else have we just had? Hey, Michelle. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Boomer, I can't really check my Hangouts right now, brother. Like, I'm halfway through streaming. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about that from my perspective. But actually, give me a second. Can I get it up? Let me get it up there. I'll check it in a second, Boomer. I'm just getting it up. Yeah. So then always have a plan to have an exit strategy. This is another thing I want to talk to you about. Exit strategies and strategies to cope within different environments is crucial, because if you don't realize what you're doing and you totally plan the wrong thing for them, they're not going to realize that they've planned the wrong thing for the autistic loved one or autistic person that you're dealing with. And that can cause mega meltdowns, stress, anxiety, pressure to perform, and to appear that we're coping, and we're really not. Hey, Billy, how are you? Yes, it's good to see you. So yeah, I'm just going through the notes that I've written up here. Make sure that your autistic loved one always has their plan, their schedule. So again, it's planning their self-care, bringing things like CD players, their laptops, computers, bringing sensory things like their bracelets, necklaces, chew toys, things that are going to decrease their overwhelm, because when they're in an overwhelmed situation and they're not able to cope as well, you're going to see a change from being functionable that I am now, explaining this to you and walking you through it, whereas other people who may not understand what autism is or how to support someone, you're not always going to be able to be fluent. So yeah, just give me a second, guys. Let me just check something. Okay, no worries. I appreciate that, Boomer. You shared it out. That's great. Hello, living with autism and anxiety. Welcome back. I didn't see you come in, my friend, but hello. Howdy. Welcome. So, yeah, the second part that I want to talk about now is preparing for unique needs and sensitivities. So during the Easter holidays, I know it's a very busy time. There's a lot of colour, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of busy, because you're going to see family and friends. So people that can go visit people. I know in the US it's more relaxed, but over here in the UK we're still under, lockdown, so we can't actually go and see people. But at the moment we can go and see people up to a group of 6 outside. So I'm starting to visit people outside now. And I think that's the important thing, because you are able to go and do that. A lot of autistic people like being outside. So for me, I'll be going outside as much as I can, going to see people, starting to get my plans. I'm going outside more, filming when I go for a walk and stuff, because that is crucial to us, our routine, being able to see people. My phone just keeps going off. Whoopsie. Hey, Exploring with Shirley Lynch, how you doing? Good to see you. I appreciate you coming in. So yeah. And always plan, if you're going to have an Easter egg hunt outside your garden or inside your house, make sure that one thing that I want you to do is plan a specific number of eggs by either colour or size that you're going to use. So, for instance, if you're going to have an autistic loved one or autistic children in your house or autistic adults in your house, make sure you plan the Easter egg hunt by colours, because a lot of us are very colour sensitive. Like for me, a lot of bright lights is too much. So my light up here is just about bearable, but I can cope with it because it gives it a more natural light when I'm filming and when I'm on live streams. So, hey, Mr. J, how are you? Good evening, good afternoon to you. Also put them in sensible environments. So don't make your children go out to, say, the shed, or don't put them in things like the closet cupboard or the wash bin or the dirty wash basket, because they're not going to search through that, because they obviously smell, touch, materials on their skin. So again, put them in sensible places where autistic people would pick them up, put them in their bag, and they'll go away and find the next one. Make sure they're in obvious places so they don't spend too long trying to find things. They will get rather frustrated and their attention spans will be very, very limited to what you're asking them to do. So again, it's about not giving them too much detail, too much overstimulation, too much anxiety. And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give you the brief rundown facts really on what autism is. Also, one thing that's really, really important is how to be sensory friendly. So again, it's about putting the right kind of materials in front of children, how to be friendly. So using things such as non-sensitive dye, non-sensitive candies, not having things like too much sugar. Like, so if you're using Easter eggs as a treat, instead of actually giving them chocolate Easter eggs, you could fill them with other things such as prizes. So you could get them to go out, find the eggs, and eat each egg. Maybe instead of being chocolate, could be a prize egg with, say, some rice in it, or a fidget cube in it, or it could have a light up ball in it, some stickers, some Play-Doh, things that I know full well would benefit autistic people who would have that fun. Hello, Garden State Gardener. How are you? And thank you very much for your comment. I appreciate that. LS Crew says, I'm a carer for my sister's friend who is called Elsie. She's 8 years old. I have communication cards. I used to communicate with her. She was much happier when, like me, say, like, okay. Hey, Justin Mello, thank you for sharing my video out. I did just see that you shared it out. So, yeah, I just want to talk about what autism is in a perspective and give you a general idea of how to support people. But yeah, to the people who are new here, I'll just give you a run through of what I've been discussing for like the last nearly 20 minutes. I've basically been talking about autism and Easter and how to self-prepare, self-plan autistic people through the change of the holidays, because right now, obviously, we're in the Easter holidays. And a lot of people will tend to overlook this as just something, oh, well, just deal, you know, it's holidays, it's chocolate, it's fun, it's family. No, because it's stress, it's anxiety, it's unpredictable, it's change, it's smell, it's people, it's noise, it's too bright, too loud, too fast. So again, it's a lot of things that you wouldn't really realise would happen. So, hey, Life with Ron, how are you? It's good to see you, my friend. Give me a second. There we go. You should find yourself a blue wrench now, Ron. But yeah, I'm just talking about how to help people with autism through this Easter holidays, because obviously it's a very overstimulating time. The next couple of weeks is going to be a lot of children off school, and especially when we've only just gone back into the routine of school, that we're now having to be from routine at school to now, oh, bang, we're back at home again. And we're having to adapt from being at home and adapting to change, seeing people outside. Like, I know in the US it's different because you guys are mingling inside and outside, whereas we're not allowed to mingle inside, we're only allowed to mingle outside, up to a group of 6 outside. So it's a lot more difficult for us to meet up with people. But yeah, it's good to see you, Ron. I appreciate you. I can't have any Play-Doh or glue scissors as I eat them. I get very excited on chocolate. Okay, Life on Autism. I didn't know that. I apologise. Wasn't mean to advocate for everybody, but yeah, this is just what I've got from these websites that I wrote down, my notes. It's just about being sensory aware and aware of autism in general, because autism is such a big spectrum and such a big condition to talk about. I could do several streams back to back to back to back to back, explain what autism is, how to mentally prepare, how to physically prepare for what I'm doing. And oh, lovely. Okay, thanks for that. I just got some notification. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about what autism means in general and kind of give you a heads up about how to prepare people for Easter, because again, it is stressful, it's change, it's unpredictable, it's noise, it's loud, it's crowds, it's food, there's people touching you, there's people being around you. Obviously the routine is separated because you're used to being at home, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 wallop, you're doing things outside of your routine, you're in a different predictability. So again, you're having to self-teach yourself what it's like to go through being in a different place and different food and not being able to communicate successfully as you would be in your own home environment. So thank you, Living with Autism. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly, Ron. Hey, Mr. J, how are you doing? But yeah, this is kind of just a deep topic. Like, there's much more to this that I could talk about, but I don't want to be too much of a kind of over talk and repeat myself. But there is a lot of things here that I can talk about just out from my own perspective, not just from the notes I've got here from the websites I wrote down. But it's, for me, autism And Easter is a very stressful time because obviously right now I wasn't allowed to go and see anybody. So for me, it's a case of I was on my own. I felt really sad. I felt really isolated because I felt like I was being deliberately left out of everything. I felt like no one wanted to talk to me. And so you have that increased anxiety of feeling absolute cruddy, and you're having to adapt to being in a different environment. You're having to think, oh, well, usually I would have gone to see my dad and my sister. And then this year I'm on my own because of certain things that we're going through right now. Thank you, Kathy from Texas. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Howdy. It's good to see you. Good Easter to you as well, Kathy. I hope your Easter has treated you well. I hope you had a good time with your family. So, yeah, I'm just explaining it from my own autistic perspective. This is not speaking for all autistic people. This is just what I go through, what I've experienced, what I've seen online, on blogs, articles that I read, videos that I've watched on autism, mental health, because autism gets often swept underneath the carpet, and especially with Easter holidays, people will tend to be like, oh, you know, big deal, big deal. And it actually is a big deal because when you're autistic, everything is heightened, and we're having to basically adapt to things and change things about ourselves. Because when we're in holiday season, it's not just Easter we have to worry about. Obviously, then we've got the summer holidays coming up. Then we have the Christmas holidays upcoming from that. So again, it's about planning each holiday and preparing them for that different stage. So I will do another live stream when it comes up to the summer holidays, and I'll show you how I cope with that. And then I will do another live stream for the Christmas one. So again, it's just about being sensory aware of autism in general. I will link some websites down below once this video is uploaded about what autism is, how you can help prepare someone. I will actually link the articles down below as well once this video uploads, so you can read the articles that I actually use for today's live stream. Hey Giggles, how are you? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, I just thought I'd come online and talk about how to help autistic people. If you guys have any questions for me, or you've not understood something I've said, feel free to ask it now. But guys, the ones who've just come in, I'm just talking about Easter and how to support people on the spectrum, and kind of trying to give my own perspective as well as the professional websites that I've used to get my notes from. So yeah, it's just a case of it's hard in general, and the holidays make it worse. Glad you're sharing your stories and how you cope with certain time. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate your feedback, my friend. But yeah, this is just basically a basic stream about how to support people with autism through the holidays, how to look after them physically, mentally, with their food, with their routines, because again, it all gets disturbed during these holidays. We're all up, down, up, down, up, down with the changes and the rule changes, and it can get rather frustrating because for me, I've gone from being calm to, oh, I was going to go see my family, happy days, to then, oh, I'm at home on my own, I feel lonely, I'm nervous, I don't feel well, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 all the things just rush into one. And the problem is people go, oh, you act like you're so well, you act like you're so happy and nothing's bothering you, and actually it really is. Oh, nice, Giggles, that's good for you. And basically that does really irritate me because people go, oh, well, you're so calm. And actually this Easter holiday, I've actually found it intensely difficult because I've had my routine broken. And like a few people know I've had videos call with yesterday, they know for well that I'm anxious with my anxiety, I panic, and I get quite upset about it. Thank you, Shirley, I appreciate that. Living with Autism says, I have meltdowns at the thought of going out to meet friends and family. I live with my family because I wouldn't be able to cope with my own. Yeah, living with autism. I used to live with my parents up until I've been living on my own now for nearly 9 years. So it's a case of you can do it. It's just about planning that. But I will do a separate video on that for you about living independently, because again, that is a big, wide topic that needs a lot more research, a lot more notes on my behalf, talking about my experiences and also from the professional experience. So again, that will be a separate topic another time that I'll do either on a live stream or if not an upload. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm just talking this is all from my own perspective. None of this is from autistic people. This is from what I've gone through, what I see, and how I feel about certain stuff. So I'm just going to have a bit of my drink. I'm sorry, my throat is actually scratching. So I'm just going to have a sip of my orange juice. Oh, that's better. I had to have a drink. My throat was gargling. So yeah, I just had to have a bit of a drink. Hey Frank, how are you? Hey Annette, how are you? So guys, if you've been lurking or you just ended the stream, I have been talking about autism and Easter and how to prepare people through the Easter holidays. How you doing, Frank? Happy Easter to you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you in my chat, obviously. So there's other alternate activities that you can do for autistic people, but I want to just recap on what I've been saying for the new people who've just come in. Hey, Elite Delta Force, how are you? Let me give you a mod wrench as well. There you go. So yeah, I hope everyone is finding this stream useful. Please give it a thumbs up and share it out if you haven't. I would appreciate that. Like I'm saying, I am talking about autism in general in a Easter special, because obviously it is Easter Monday here in the UK, Easter Monday also in the States too as well. I'm doing good, Elite Delta Force. Yeah, Frank, so if you want to go back to the beginning of the stream after this uploads, I was talking about what Easter means for autistic people and what it means to work with people with autism, to support them through the Easter holidays and how they adapt their routine and how to best support them so that they don't get too overwhelmed or stressed out. Hey then, how are you? So yeah, I hope you guys have found this information from my perspective useful, because I do find it very, very hard to communicate. Like I say, my eye contact is not great because I do struggle to see the screen because of my eyes. So I'm doing my best to keep looking up at the chat and reading the chat from my phone. Oh, okay, Elite Delta Force, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, it's good to know that. Gamer World, why aren't you wrenched? Hold on. There you go, you are now. But yeah, I just want to run through this quickly. Like, I'm not going to be on much longer, I don't think. I've pretty much covered what I wanted to say with regards to this topic. If you guys want to ask any questions, like, okay, Giggles, I appreciate that. Yeah, so if you guys want to ask me any questions about what autism is, how to support someone through the Easter holidays, or if you want to know about autism in general, I'm open to questions. Also, guys, if you do leave me any questions in the chat, I will screenshot them for a further Q&A. I do want to do a Q&A video in the next couple of days, so if you want to leave me some questions in this chat, I will screenshot them and I'll make a video on them off my phone. So yeah, so if you want to ask me any questions about what I've talked about, or if there's something you've not understood, let me know in the chat below and I'll answer them now, or I'll answer them in a, yeah, NS Crew, it's evening here. It's actually 8:02 in the evening here in the UK. So yeah, I actually went live 22 minutes early. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Give it a thumbs up, share it out. If you found this useful, or if you want to ask me any questions, let me know in the chat. It would help me to let me know how many people have found this beneficial. I do have a lot more content coming up as well. So yes, I have autism. Also, I had a brother who is non-sight and has autism with Janet. Okay, Gamer, well, that's interesting. Yeah, there's 20 of you in the chat right now. That's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate you. And I did share the link out to some people in their private hangouts if they want to come on and chat to me on my panel. I did send a few hangouts invites out to some people. And this is, I have autism too. I got diagnosed at 31. Annette, how old are you now? Just out of reference, because I got diagnosed at 25. So yeah, and I'm now nearly 33. So Yeah, it's 2 p.m. here in the States. Oh yeah, you're in Central Time, Frank. So yeah, it's 2 p.m. Central and 3 p.m. Eastern time. So Frank's in the Central zone. So yeah, guys, if you want to ask me any questions or you feel that I've not explained anything, let me know. Like, I do have a lot of notes here, but I didn't want it to be too long. So yeah, I thought I'd go through this quite quickly and give you my thoughts, which I'm going to start wrapping up in a few minutes. Jim, what you do is amazing. Keep up the work out there. Thank you, Elite Delphos. I appreciate that, because again, autism is such a big spectrum. It's hard to get it all in a live stream or all in a video. So again, I have to pick and choose my topics to suit me, and I have to make sure it's suitable for my audience and keeps them interested. So it's about keeping that topic going and get the interaction. So I'd like to learn about more, and I'm going to watch this to learn more. Yeah, Elite, I'm definitely going to be doing some more topics, my friend. I'm definitely going to do more topics on autism for boys and men. Also, I'm going to be doing a lot more on the Good Doctor videos, which I will be filming 1 or 2 of them tomorrow, and then they'll upload later on in the week. I'm also going to be doing a lot more emails and Twitter messages as well. So that's going to kind of be my aim with that. But if you want to ask me any questions, guys, leave them in the chat down below. And if you have anything you want to say to me in the chat now, let me know. Hopefully I've come across clear and not confusing. So, okay, you're 48 in there. Oh, nice. Wow. You got done this quite a long time ago then. That's quite helpful for me to know that. Yeah. But yeah, guys, if you have any more that you want to ask me, or you think that I've not explained anything, I do have the notes here available if you want me to email them to you. I do keep all my notes like this in my folder. They get kept in my folder and in my bag in my cupboard. So if you want any notes from previous live streams that I've done, or previous notes from uploads that I've done, I'm happy to email them to you. But yeah, I'm going to read my final thoughts now, guys, and wrap this stream up. I think nearly half an hour is quite a long time for you guys to stay interacting with me, so I appreciate you being here with me. Yeah, and these glasses are starting to do my absolute head in. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes, guys. So I'm just gonna read my final thoughts, and then I'll end the stream, and you guys can go back and watch this at a later time to listen to anything that I've said. Yeah, Elite, I've had Zoom since last weekend. I downloaded it last weekend to broadcast from, because I didn't want to use StreamYards anymore, because I think Zoom looks better, it looks more professional, and I look more clearer. So hopefully this is a better way of me streaming. Hey, Minx Laura. Hey, Mr. Fulton. How are you? Okay, Mr. Fulton, I appreciate that. I do, but it's not really appropriate to put in my chat. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Fulton. And I appreciate the quick hi, Laura. I'm going to be wrapping up very soon anyway. So my final thoughts as an autistic adult, I think it is vital to prepare autistic people for the holidays, as it can reduce the stress, anxiety, meltdowns, and unpredictable events that may happen. Holidays are often busy and not always kind to people with autism or disability. Try to keep the person with autism's routine as predictable and strict as possible by involving them in the planning and searching of things that are going to happen during the holidays, such as decorating, choosing snacks, cooking food, etc. If you are to travel out to another relative's or friend's house or neighbourhood, maybe you could go there a week or 2 before to take pictures and videos so they know where they're going to stay, to get themselves adjusted and to stop the overwhelm and potential meltdowns and stress. Please take the time to understand them and support them. They are your loved ones and your friends through this holiday season, which they find too overwhelming and overstimulating. So again, that's just my point of view on autism in general. But yeah, I think I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.